On today's episode, Tesla's plan for exiting the fossil fuel era, another productivity increase at Giga Shanghai, Elon's plans for Twitter employees, more nickel dealings between Tesla and Indonesia, and Tesla sue a former employee for stealing dojo supercomputer secrets. There's a lot, so let's get going. Tesla has just released their 2021 impact statement. This is an internal report that breaks down the key areas of Tesla's growth and the company's general effect on the world at large over the past year. Tesla has settled on a heavyweight title for their 2021 report, calling it Exiting the Fossil Fuel Era. It's a very long read, but we'll go ahead and break down the key points for you. When it comes to their impact on the global economy, Tesla claims to have created 100,000 jobs in the last decade of operation. The company says that over 3 million people around the world have applied to work for Tesla just in the last year. Even with the high level of automation in the new gigafactories, Tesla is still a large employer of human beings, providing high salaries and a laundry list of benefits from health coverage to maternity leave to stock options. This is the really impressive part of the report. Tesla boasts that their customers have prevented the creation of 8.4 million metric tons of CO2 emissions by choosing to drive electric cars. According to the report, the average gasoline vehicle will produce 70 tons of carbon dioxide over its lifetime. By comparison, an electric car, on average, will have a carbon footprint of 30 tons of CO2. Tesla notes that it is possible to decarbonize the production and charging of electric vehicles, while the fossil fuel burned by an ICE vehicle will be extremely difficult to remove from the atmosphere via carbon capture. When it comes to general energy consumption, Tesla is able to throw down some crazy numbers. According to the report, Tesla Solar has produced a total of 25.39 terawatts of cumulative energy from 2012 to 2021. In that same time, the company's total energy consumed by all factories, facilities, and all vehicle charging adds up to 25.27 terawatt hours. So Tesla has actually created more energy from the sun than they have consumed in the manufacturing and operation of every product since the Model S. Lastly, Tesla points to sustainable design in both their factories and their products, resulting in less water use per vehicle than almost any ICE car manufacturer. The company says that there is a misconception that producing an EV requires more water than producing an ICE vehicle. But data shows this is not the case. And with the efficient manufacturing design at the new factories in Texas and Berlin-Brandenburg, the result will actually be further reduction in water usage per vehicle. The goal is to have industry-leading low water usage per vehicle, even when accounting for cell manufacturing. A quick check-in with the supply side of things. We all know that a battery shortage is on the horizon if it hasn't started already. Tesla shows how their battery cycle from raw materials to recycling takes a closed-loop approach that's attempting to keep all processes in-house. The company shows the lengths that they are going to diversify their battery supply. In addition to their own cell manufacturing operations, Tesla is currently using cells from 4 different suppliers with 3 different battery chemistries. This is in addition to a newly implemented recycling program. Tesla says that their battery factories have already begun implementing an in-house closed-loop recycling system that will ensure 100% of Tesla batteries received back are recycled and up to 92% of their raw materials are used. This section discusses Tesla's impact on the entire transport and energy collection ecosystem, showcasing Tesla's massive and growing Supercharger network across North America. The company says that their charging network has grown to over 3,500 Supercharger locations around the world and claims that the network reached 100% renewable energy in 2021. The company also publishes some interesting cost of ownership numbers, showing that a Model 3 rear-wheel drive comes in somewhere between a Toyota Camry and a BMW 3 Series in terms of cost per mile over 5 years and 60,000 miles. But the Tesla is much closer in cost of ownership to the Camry, even though the purchase price is much closer to the BMW. Obviously, Tesla has been growing at an extremely rapid pace, and it is really impressive that they've been keeping ahead of almost every industry metric, while at the same time addressing climate issues as they go. Elon has made frequent promises on the importance of getting society as a whole to move away from fossil fuels, and it's very encouraging to see Tesla not only backing up that talk, but also embarrassing the rest of the industry with how easily they seem to be doing it. Tesla China will be adding back a second shift of workers at the Gigafactory in Shanghai that will return the factory to full productivity this month. Giga Shanghai was shut down completely for 22 days as government officials put the entire city on lockdown. Tesla was able to reopen early and brought back 8,000 people to work in a closed-loop shift that involved sleeping at the factory to help reduce worker movements in the city. In a new internal memo obtained by Reuters news agency, we learned that Tesla plans to add more shifts starting on May 16th in order to ramp production back to 2,600 vehicles per day. At that rate, it would put Giga Shanghai's annualized production capacity back to over 900,000 vehicles per year. With the production shutdown and then ramping back up, Tesla will likely miss out on over 100,000 vehicles from the plant in the second quarter, but Elon Musk said that the company still has a shot at maintaining its record-breaking level of deliveries. This whole Elon buying Twitter saga has gone to some weird places over the last couple of weeks, but I do just want to quickly talk about what Elon might bring for the existing and future employees of the social media company. In a series of tweets, Elon laid out his approach to the internal operations, writing, "If Twitter acquisition completes, company will be super focused on hardcore software engineering, design, infosec, and server hardware." Then followed that up by writing, "I strongly believe that all managers in a technical area must be technically excellent. Managers in software must write great software, or it's like being a cavalry captain who can't ride a horse." And then he capped that off by saying, "Work ethic expectations would be extreme, but much less than I demand of myself." Remembering that Elon's idea of a work week is something between 80 and 100 hours on the job, and often involves sleeping on the floor of his office or even the factory. So a Twitter under Elon's control will be hyper-focused on making big improvements to the website's infrastructure, and Elon expects to see results. While Elon's high expectations tend to scare away most people, Twitter has actually seen a massive increase in job applications since the board agreed to take up Musk's offer to buy out the company. According to data from Glassdoor, interest in jobs at Twitter increased by 263% in April over what they were seeing in March. Elon Musk is getting ready to meet with Indonesian President Joko Widodo this week to continue talks on a possible Tesla expansion into the region. This meeting is the latest in a string of recent delegations to and from the South Asian country. Last week, Tesla representatives reportedly traveled to Indonesia, and earlier in April, Elon met with Indonesia's coordinating Minister of Investment and Maritime Affairs at Giga Texas. These meetings are undoubtedly spurred by one thing: nickel. Indonesia has been very busy trying to develop a full domestic supply chain for their gigantic nickel deposits, which are the largest in the world. This meeting with the Indonesian president is likely to seal the deal for Tesla to get a piece of that reserve. Tesla needs nickel to supply their new 4680 battery production lines, and Indonesia would really love to have a major automaker in their country. The exact time and date of the meeting are still unknown, but President Widodo is set to be in Washington this week for a summit of Southeast Asian leaders. Tesla seems to have a bit of a problem with attracting tech thieves. A recent lawsuit filed against a former employee named Alexander Yatskov claims the engineer stole trade secrets regarding Tesla's dojo training computer. This is the ultra-advanced supercomputer technology that Tesla unveiled at AI Day last summer, a dedicated artificial intelligence, neural network training, and machine learning system that has the possibility of becoming the most powerful supercomputer in the world. Yatskov was hired as a thermal engineer and was assigned to the Dojo project to work on the supercomputer's cooling system. Not long after, Tesla claims Yatskov was caught downloading sensitive information about Dojo onto his personal computer and was placed on administrative leave on April 6th. After requesting his personal laptop so that the data could be recovered, Tesla claims Yatskov then brought the company a dummy laptop loaded with inoffensive data. Yatskov resigned on May 2nd. Tesla is seeking compensatory and exemplary damages and an order that would stop Yatskov from disseminating its trade secrets and direct him to return all proprietary data. What we don't know is who Yatskov might have supplied with the stolen information. Was he hired by a competitor to infiltrate Tesla's AI team and steal Dojo secrets, or was he acting alone and just hoping to leverage the data for his own gains? And this is just the latest in a spree of suits against alleged thieves of Tesla tech. In April 2020, Tesla accepted a settlement with Zoox Inc. and several former employees who allegedly took several documents filled with trade secrets about Tesla's logistics systems for their self-driving vehicles. Then, later that same month, Tesla made new filings in a suit from 2019 against Chinese EV startup Xpeng, claiming the company had stolen their autopilot source code. Apparently, a former autopilot engineer left Tesla and joined Xpeng's autonomous team. This mirrors an ex-Apple engineer who joined Xpeng at around the same time under similar circumstances. And then there's the suit against EV maker Rivian and some former employees who may have offloaded some trade secrets about Tesla's battery tech. Tesla alleges that several former employees were encouraged by Rivian to bring Tesla documents with them when they were hired. Tesla believes these documents mostly concern their battery technology. Theft is nothing new in the tech world, and Tesla's place at the top of the industry is bound to attract some wannabe secret agents. These suits might take some time to resolve if they ever do, but it's likely this kind of thing will continue to be a problem as long as the competition fails to keep up. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up today if you liked it. That is so important for getting our content out to more people. If you enjoy the content, then you'd probably also enjoy our weekly newsletter, so sign up with the link down below at theteslaspace.com. A huge thank you to all of our Patreon supporters who are listed on the screen now. You help us make the best content we can, and we really appreciate it. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.